January and
let's-
February are the worst.
Well, we just need to find something to bring in here.
Order. All right. Got a roll call. Is anybody missing?
Nope.
Okay, looks like we're all here. Okay. When you talk about the minutes from February, do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made to approve the minutes from February. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Looks like we're going down the road. Now we're on reports on funding events. Hello.
Oh,
I was gonna plug into this HDMI and show y'all the presentation from Natural State Wellness Fest. It was last weekend at Brick Room Events, and I think it was a great turnout. We got a lot of good exposure this year with, had an interview with Arkansas Style, and then 2 photographers at the event, which was good, and then UCA came and covered it too. Their newspaper and their news channel.
So was this a good bit busier than last year?
What?
Was this a good bit busier?
Yes.
Good,
It
good.
being in March versus January, yes.
Yes.
Weather has a lot to do with it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay, present. Okay, this is just kind of some highlights. We had some really good speakers. Lisa Fisher came. She's a health enthusiast podcaster. She has a pretty big following.
Southeast Arkansas girl.
Yeah. And then, oh, I don't hit play. Going. So yeah, we had 7 speakers on the first day. We had about 16 or 17 vendors. I don't know why that's not. We had a lot of travelers from Little Rock area. We seem to get a lot of people from like Shirley and Leslie and kind of up in that area where there's nothing like this available up there. They follow us on social media and we get a lot of people from that area. Sorry, let me see. I'll just run through the slides then. So yeah, a lot of local wellness businesses, Hurley Chiropractic, Rogue Roundabout set up and served food. We had local yoga studio, Go Inside Yoga. There's Johanna in the middle. So day 1 was the vendors, speakers, class, or vendors and speakers and presentations on the first day. And then day 2, we had the classes. We had a few yoga classes and some instructors come. So yeah, this year versus the last couple years, it being in the spring, it was a good turnout. I'm happy with it, and having the exposure was even better.
Having the little bottles with the.
That was a local, it was a vendor. Yeah, they were selling some tinctures. There's a mushroom extraction company there. We had partner yoga, which all the feedback from these day 2 classes was wonderful. People had so much fun, which is what the event was about. Just kind of, there's True, he's the local UCA yoga instructor. He was there. And we had a sound bath the second day, which he's got a really big following in the Central Arkansas area. So that was a really good turnout too for Embassy of Sound. There's yoga from the second day. And yeah, one of the speakers, it was just, yeah, I really loved being able to put this on, and this is year 3 for it. And I think it's just gaining momentum each year, and I appreciate y'all's support every year.
did a very
yeah.
good job. With the,
Yeah, you
was it KARK that you went on?
Yes, with Arkansas Style. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
right.
reached out about it, which was awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
to have that contact now too is good for
Awesome.
the future years.
Good deal.
Well done, Emily. Well done.
Thank
Mhm.
y'all.
All
Do y'all
right.
have any more questions about the event or anything like that?
Looked like it was a good weekend
It was fun. Yeah.
from a lot of different areas. So yeah. All right.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you,
y'all.
Emily. All right.
Job, Emily.
Very much.
Okay, any more funding events? All right. Okay.
Oh, red curtain.
Hi there, I'm Kristen Dickerson. I'm co-founder and executive director at Red Curtain Theater. You guys are generous enough to help sponsor our season every year. So I'm here to report about season 11 at Red Curtain Theater, which was held throughout 2024. Over the course of the year, we did 10 productions. We had 2 that were strictly kids participation, ages 8 to 12. We had 4 shows that had teens, so 13 to 18, and then 3 adult shows. Not adult shows, but shows, shows with adults. Although
Yeah, if you feel
we
guilty.
could get the people out, maybe. So we have really worked hard over the few years since we were out of commission kind of for 18 months during COVID, and we've worked hard to sort of build our numbers back up. We had our most successful season ever. We increased our ticket sales by 22% last year, which was great. We did that at the same time that we started performing in a smaller venue. We used to perform at Hendrix College in the Staples Auditorium there, which seats 816 people. We now perform in a black box theater downtown that we built, which seats just under 100 people. So to have such limited seating, but be able to increase our ticket sales at the same time was really wonderful. I think one of the things that really helped with that was we used a lot of our funding from you guys for banners for our windows downtown, and being able to have a lot of people who were downtown get to see what we had going on and literally walk right in the door and find out about it, or stick around for a show was really great. We haven't had that in the past because we've always been off site. Some stats for you guys, if you want to look over, most of our ticket holders still came from Conway. But we did have quite a few from the outskirts and some even from out of state. A large number of people reported that at the same time they came to see a show, they went out to eat or they did some shopping downtown. We had lots of people. This is the first time I've seen this reported a lot, but we had a lot of people who went to Art Walk and then came and saw a show on Friday night. So that was really fun to get to see how many people kind of doubled up on that Friday night fun.
I heard Peter Pan was real successful.
So Peter Pan was very successful. That was Wildwood, but I'm going to take credit because I did the sound and my kids were in it. So that wasn't us. But at the same time Peter Pan was happening, we were also doing a Dog and Toad Kids downtown.
All right.
But I will pass that message along to them because it was a great show. We mostly have adults come and see our shows, even though a lot of what we do is youth theater, and that's because it's parents and grandparents who are coming to see shows. But we do, to be perfectly honest, we still have a significant amount of kids. One hope we have is to reach more kids in the community and make the performing arts more accessible to youth in our community. That's one of the goals we are working toward. We had quite a few people who came from out of town and stayed overnight. I was actually pretty surprised by the number of people who traveled into Conway and ended up staying overnight. 99% said they'd visit Conway again. I don't know what's going on with that other 1%. That's crazy, but I don't know. One thing that I like to point out every year that is not reflected on these stats, because these specifically just talk about our performances, is that we have 10 this year. We have 11 productions going on. We have rehearsals at our theater at least 3 or 4 days a week. Right now we have 4 shows in rehearsal. I'm a glutton for punishment. So we have rehearsal literally every day of the week. And a lot of that is youth rehearsal. So it's parents dropping their kids off for 3 hours and going shopping, going to eat, meeting up with friends. And then we have a lot of adults who come from out of town to perform in our shows. And they grab food before the show, they grab food or before rehearsal or after rehearsal. So I think that one of the things that isn't reflected here is how much we're able to stimulate the economy through our rehearsal process as well. And I think that's important to note. So we had a great year. We're excited to do it again in 2025. We've just closed our second show of 2025 already. We open up another one in 2 weeks, and we just don't ever stop.
What's the average price of your ticket?
Great question. So our kid shows, the ones that are ages 8 to 12, those ticket prices are $12 a ticket. For our teen shows, it is $17, and our adult shows is $22.
Sold 7,500 tickets, just about. Wow.
Now, if you will,
Well,
if you will look at that and you'll see that the Lion King Kids was the most profitable show. Well, it sold not the most profitable. It sold the most tickets, but it's also the cheapest ticket price. I will say that we comp. We probably comp 10 to 15% of our tickets. We do that for volunteers. We do that for, like, Broadway World comes to see our show and writes a review on it, you know, and the truth is we have a lot of people who have friends or family members who can't afford the price of a ticket. We don't ask questions. We just add them to our will call and let them come and see a show. So, you know, the numbers are I'm not a business person. I just want to make people happy. So our numbers turn out a little bit different, but yeah, $74.97 was our ticket sales this year, which was up 60. I think 61.32 was last year. So I feel, you know, really good about the increase. Yeah. Any other questions?
If you guys haven't gone to see any of these, I highly suggest you do. My daughter's been in many of them. At first, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go watch this," but they're really.
I'm sure that's why our Lion King ticket sales were so high, because Dylan played Scar.
I mean, but no, they're very entertaining. They're very well put on. So like we've got, you know, some of our friends that don't have kids in it to come and just watch it, and they've enjoyed it.
Good.
I highly suggest you guys, if you have a weekend when you see one playing. I mean, they're short. They're usually 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, the kids shows are about 30 minutes. Our teen shows run about 60 to 75. And then the adult shows, it depends on the show. Some are like 90 minutes, but most are a full, like a Guys and Dolls is 2.5 hours. Little Shop of Horrors is going to be 2 hours. Come see Little Shop of Horrors in May. Thank you, Wes.
Website is?
RedCurtainTheater.com.
Very much.
You bet. Okay. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate your
Thank you.
support.
Thank
It
you.
has been
Thank
a
you.
big
Thank you.
difference every
Appreciate
year.
Bringing
We're
live
grateful.
plays, I think it helps. Broadens people. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more funding events?
I think that's all.
Okay. Financial.
Hello, everybody. It was so nice to be back.
Back.
Yes. Welcome. Oh, yeah. Hey, do we need a motion for our
A minute.
like,
8 minutes?
minutes? I see what you're saying. Sorry.
We do the minutes.
We need to approve the
We
minutes.
did the minutes, yeah.
Motion?
I think we already
We
did.
already
That's
did.
what I thought we
Yep.
did. Okay, all right, so we're back
Thanks,
to
Brandon.
financial information.
Financial information.
Okay.
All right, in paper cut packets, we have first the balance sheet, income statement, and 2-year income statement. The balance in the operating account is $2,282,357.34. The balance in collections, $1,189,507.95. And the CD balance is $510,143.34. Go to page 3, 2-year comparative. The revenues for this month are $489,967.57, and we ended up in the red $3,187.50.
How'd that happen?
Oh, our collections were significantly less this month. Quarter month.
Days.
Quarter month,
Yes.
no days.
Yeah.
Snow days, about 5 days down in February for us.
My place is closed.
Right, we had weather.
If you have a business like we do, we do.
Take their keys.
And they feed them too while they're there, to make sure that they stay.
Current month last year at this time was in the red, $6,047.88. So
Better than last.
and the account reconciliations are just back up for the financial statements. Long pieces of paper. Our collections financials. First two pages is just the allocation breakdown. Go to third page. Total collections for prepared food is $448,820.81. The total for hotels is $25,941.71, totaling $474,763.52. Up over last year by $14,002.04, and up over February of 2023 by $14,306.01. Nowadays, their collections. Fourth page is the past due collections. $3,171.08 in food and $44.57 in hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Totaling $3,215.65, which is 0.7% of total collections.
Curtis, that's cut into your business. Airbnb.
Well, maybe it's because we report our stuff.
Need to twist that a little more.
Maybe. No.
Very much.
Collections of STRs, I don't see how it can make much. How about anyway? The next page is collections excluding delinquents. For food, it's $445,649.73. Collections for hotel, motel, short-term rentals, all those. $25,897.14, totaling $471,546.87. That's up over February of 2024 by $35,041.05. Last page are hanging around the 50. I know. I was afraid of that, Andy.
It's just that
Only my first meeting to be back to be, yes. Right there.
that much.
Next month, I'll make sure people pay online. Pay simple payments for food is $208,907.22. Hotel is $19,662.86, totaling $228,570.08, and that consists of 49.61% of total collections, 287 food, and 74 hotel. That is up over February of 2024 by $17,100.10. So we are steadily climbing. Jumps recently to people nudging people to go to the online payment. I think 'cause it's easier than, sure feels like it's more than 50% of total collections. Feels like it would be.
Have a motion for the financial information.
Make a motion to accept the financials.
Motion's been made, is there a second? Been made and second. Yes, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I will say that I stopped.
Sorry.
If I could,
Yeah.
I will say that I stopped on, Front Street, no. Oak Street. Lady that used to have girlfriend place,
Mm-hmm.
stopped and ate there the other day, and she is collecting for
They're good.
always seem to have good food. Sometimes had. Always seem to have.
They're just really great food. The next, I have a feeling is one of these is zero.
Code enforcement?
Wait, it's like delinquent list.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah. That's a,
there's lots missing off of here.
Yes. Code enforcement has been on it. Between code enforcement and myself, we have figured out ways, more creative ways to communicate with
oh, wow.
these people in ways that have not proved to be the best methods.
We did get a lot done in the last month.
Looks like
Yeah,
we
looks
did.
like it.
We've had a lot of communication, and Jill and I have dug into this pretty hard, and
Yes, we did.
so all of the ones that are on today's list is current delinquent. Does that sound right? These are the most current. And you did mention Chef Mary Ann's, and I do believe that she will.
Yeah,
It looks like she just
probably
didn't
needs to
turn in
call
a
Steve, or she's
report.
probably just
Yeah.
busy with this.
Yeah. And I don't see any that jump out at me that I need to ask anything about. I think we'll be able to get in touch with all these.
I'm not sure I'm good.
We were well, before most
Oh,
people
talk
got
about-
here, we were talking about Zateo Coffee. Did they
Mhm.
not? I thought they left Conway.
They actually have a shop inside the hospital, right by the gift shop.
Gift shop.
So, yeah, they did shut down their one down here on Oak Street, but they are at the hospital. So,
So all the ones that was on the last one that we had, some were like 60 and 90, they're all paying.
Yeah.
yes.
Wave the magic.
A name.
Myself, the code enforcement.
And I think we even had some that were court appearances. So have those all been taken care
I
of
will-
as well?
I will tell you that Crab Kings is kind of in the wind right now. They had a court appearance and they did not show up, so there is an FTA there. I did have a court case on Monday, I believe it was. I don't even know if y'all remember. It was from 2023. It was called Juice Me Up, and it was a very old, citation. There were FTAs attached and this and that. Well, we finally had court on Monday, and Lisa Stevens came and was there to represent any details that the judge might need. But Miss Israel changed her plea when she got there to guilty, and she was fined, and she had already paid her taxes. All that was hanging out there was the citation part of it. So she was found guilty. So took care of that one. That was from 23. I was like, I had to scratch my head. Now, wait a minute. Who was she? What? And so,
The peers come back later on, usually when somebody gets pulled over.
yeah, that's usually how it happens. And so
Don't-
that was,
The day that she missed court was the day she came to our office and wanted to get current before court. And I thought she was saying she was going to court, but she wrote a check, and that is the check that bounced. And then she didn't show up for court to show them proof.
Let's check the ballot.
That back.
So we took him off there because Kim and I are gonna try to approach her in a different way because she's just gonna keep being on this list until she slowly falls off. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to approach her in a different way. I did get in touch with, well, thanks to code enforcement on the border. I know y'all been hearing stuff about them recently, about recent events with them, but I did get in touch with their, well, now accountant. They moved their accounting back in-house from previous, so they are getting, I gave the lady the information, she's getting current on A&P and Bedford taxes. I did make communication,
Heard of all
we
of
got
it.
communication with
Never showed
strange
up on our
properties,
list.
and we're gonna get those reports filed. And the cockpit cravings was closed. Andy verified that one. And Nutrition Revolution, we found they were closed, so.
On this list so that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I wasn't even aware of On the Border.
Me neither.
Well, it was, yeah, it was
So
on
wait,
there.
until they're completely paid off, we're still aware
Yeah.
of them.
Order was on last month's
I
list.
think it was.
Yeah.
It was. And as I said, oh, and Crab Kings, can I go back to that for just a second? And this is entirely up to y'all, but if we can make contact with him, her, it might be one of those deals where we request her to come to the meeting and say, let's get this, worked out. I mean, you've got FTAs out there, you've got things that need to be straightened out. That's it, like I say, that's up to y'all, but if
I
that's,
think she went to Texas as soon as she left Conway, but she was supposed to be opening a restaurant in Little Rock.
that was my understanding as well. But whether she did or not, I do not know. But
So do you typically notify them by mail? Has any of
and
that
it's all
come back or?
It's all come back.
Have someone walk and. Oh,
If she's
That
done
would be
something
great.
in Little Rock.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm.
The address that I sent it
I didn't
to seemed like a residential street.
Address.
Yeah, it wasn't a.
Article on KUTV, November 20th, about them moving to Little Rock.
type of restaurant.
I do not. I don't know if it was going to be
It's
the same.
Crab Kings.
Right?
Our food was very good. It's Crab Kings with K.
You can get,
Contact
if you can get
information.
some contact information, we'll get on it. That's all I have unless you all have any questions for me.
All done.
No,
Get
all
the
right,
last all the
thank you.
time.
Thank
you. Thanks, Kim. Rachel?
Gotta vote on delinquent.
Oh, we got to vote on delinquent, I'm sorry.
Well, we don't have anything to vote on, really. Just 30 days. Yeah, the only thing we have on here is 30 days. So I'll make the motion for our standard just for the 30 days, but I do think it's important that we need to keep people on here because if we need to take action, of course, there's nothing listed on here today beyond 30 days.
You just Crab Kings.
Second.
Been made. Okay. Favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Rachel's next.
I'm next. It's been a very busy month. Part of that time was spent at the Arkansas Governor's Conference on Tourism in Bentonville and attended some sessions, met with other tourism people, had a AACVB meeting, which I think I mentioned to y'all is the Arkansas Association of CVBs. So over the past month, been dealing with that some and working on some legislative issues that could potentially have negative or positive impacts on tourism. I know one bill specifically that was up for a vote, didn't pass, is being revised and might run again, is one that would take local control away from being able to regulate how many Airbnbs, short-term rentals you can have in your city. And this is being heavily funded by Airbnb. So we spoke out against that. Hopefully it will die before anything happens, because a lot of other cities have ordinances that specifically regulate types of buildings, how many you can have, et cetera. And so we don't want that to impact our hotel business. Let's see, Pulse of Conway, which is a publication the chamber does, did an article about A&P tax collections. And so I reviewed that, provided some quotes for that. Someone from Livability, which is a publication, reached out to me. They were partnering with Arkansas Tourism on an article focusing on boomerang residents. It's people that grew up in Arkansas, moved out of state, and then chose to come back for some reason. I recommended Jessica Crum to them as a subject for the article. I don't know how many of you are familiar with her, but she's has an agency in town. She's in the EM building, very involved with Create Conway and just the art scene as a whole. And so she did an interview about why she chose Conway. She didn't grow up in Conway, but she chose to live here and build her family here. So that's great. Can't wait to see that. Can work with Dave Creek on social media posts for March and content for April. I lost that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've also been continuing to work with the photographer on getting some new images. Specifically, this month he's working on a catalog of our downtown murals, and then getting some new images of the soccer complex, which is beautiful. I don't know how many of you have been out there. I was out of town when they did the ribbon cutting for it, but my daughter's playing soccer this year, so I've had the pleasure to be out there a few times, and it is a great facility. Big improvement from our old facilities for sure. Let's see, we met with a athletics department to discuss Weekend of Champions, which is coming up in May. It's actually Memorial Weekend this year, and that's when we will host the state championship games for baseball, softball, and boys and girls soccer. And that's always a big event. I know that I told y'all AAA decided not to do the All-Star games again, which we weren't that sad about. This is a much better quality event just based on the ages of people, the amount of people, the time people spend in Conway. We get a bigger benefit from it. So excited to do that. This will be the last year of our 3-year contract, and so we will bid for that again next January, and hopefully we give them a good enough experience that they want to keep coming back to Conway. But time will tell. And I think that those were the highlights that I was going to mention. Also, an ad that was featured. Is that your son? I feel like it might be, but I don't know. In Bike, Arkansas, on the inside front cover. And then also we were featured in Sports Events Magazine. They did a whole section on Arkansas. And so we have a section that talks about Conway, and then our ad is adjacent to the Arkansas feature. before any of the other Arkansas cities. So I was pleased with that placement as well. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Rachel.
Cool.
All right, way to go.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not sure if it's a honor or like, okay, so it's your turn to do your time type thing, but it's a 2-year term. So, yeah, I've been working on that some.
Congratulations, thank you.
It's been a good source of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just missions, but.
Parks and Rec.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So February wrapped up, the slow months, and now spring has sprung. So we are underway, but in February we had 87 teams between 2 basketball tournaments, with one being the 3-day homeschool state tournament. March, 2 volleyball tournaments and 3 basketball tournaments. So we still have indoor stuff going on, but we also have 4 baseball tournaments and 3 fast pitch tournaments. So it's going to be a busy month. It'll be a busy summer in general. As for the expo, Ray Lana actually wraps up today. We've got the Conway Home Show this weekend, and then later this month we'll have the G&S Gun Show and the Enchanted Market. So busy month for parks.
Soccer's underway.
Soccer is underway. We're excited.
Had a
Yes,
great
ma'am.
turnout too.
We did. We did. We had our first games this past weekend. Everything has gone beautifully. So we're excited.
We heard parents talking about it at the restaurant. You know, they were going back and forth about how much they enjoyed it, how many people were there, and so it's a win-win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How's the turf holding up?
So far, so good. We got I'm afraid it's going to be a rainy spring, but our guys have done a phenomenal job out there getting everything ready, and they know what they're doing. So I trust them. Yep.
I took the time while I was out there the day we cut ribbons and walked to the property that we apparently own now, just north of the fields. There's a way that we could get some traffic in that area if we ever get regional tournaments for parking purposes.
On that northeast side.
Yeah. These outlet to one subdivision and then an outlet to another subdivision. If you get in there and walk in those little thicket that's there.
Yeah.
It's just all that way. And
Yeah.
remember that the old guy told.
Sounds good. Anything we can do for parking, that always seems to
An
be
issue.
a hot topic. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Denise?
No.
Neil?
Hey, what? Hi. We issued 5 A&P permits for 5 short-term rentals this month.
Wow.
Probably the most we've ever done
I
in
was
one
gonna
month.
say,
That
yeah.
was a lot. We had 2 restaurants. One was Bamboo Hibachi that moved in the old Don Pepe's location, and they've opened a second location in the Valero down on Harkrider. So 2 restaurants, a convenience store, and a Hispanic grocery store. So 4 restaurant store A&P permits. We've had no mobile vendors this month, which is kind of disappointing because I know they're gearing up again. So we hope we'll be hearing from them pretty soon, more of those, because they're popping up everywhere, as I'm sure you know. And Brittany's done a great job getting these guys permitted. So
All right.
thank you.
Right.
Who's the resident expert on what qualifies as food preparation?
Anything.
That your hands have to touch to make.
Mm-hmm.
So at a gas station, a candy bar, a bag of chips does not count. A fountain drink, a hot dog would count.
Mm-hmm.
A grilled chicken breast sold in a box of 5 grilled chicken breasts. Prepared food.
Yes, I believe
Yes.
so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, leaves the restaurant different than it came in,
Yes.
or the establishment different than it came in.
So if it came in raw and they cooked it,
It's been cooked.
yes.
Now, what if it's been prepared, is in a dish, but you have to cook it when you get home? Is that,
Like a make a
Like
meal
take and
type
bake, make a
thing.
meal.
is that something that?
Yes, it's the same thing as, like somebody preparing a salad or,
Right, because you
So
don't cook a
that's-
soda. You don't have to cook
So
a
then
salad,
a
so,
salad
yes, that counts.
Just asking questions just for my own personal.
Yep. Anything that someone's hands had to touch to get it ready to serve is included. That's why a fountain drink counts, but a
Mhm.
bottled drink doesn't.
Doesn't. Ice cream would, ice cream cone.
Ice cream cones count, prepackaged ice cream, like a goodie bar or whatever wouldn't.
chicken breast came in a box, and then they were sold in the box, and it was not opened, done anything different with it. It leaves the establishment different than it came in.
Thank you. For my question.
Any new business today?
Yes, just the funding request.
Funding request.
Hello again, I'm Greg Ebert with the Arkansas Senior Olympics. I'm just here to ask for some help with some seed funding and some advertising dollars to bring some events back to, and some new events back to Conway. I've circled around and trying to do some events around the state, but I will tell you that I do have some really good feedback and people that have been here over the last, 2 or 3 years, and everybody keeps going, let's bring some more events to Conway. So, and I apologize that I'm somewhat prepared, but I'm not fully prepared. But I did call. I've been trying to do our track meet back here. I want to do it at UCA if I can. And just before I came over here, about an hour ago, I called the guy at UCA. There's evidently a new guy that's taken over from Daryl Walsh, that's in charge of renting the facility. And I've been in touch with him since January, and trying to get him to get me a date that we can do our track meet, because that is going to be one of our biggest events that we do, and I would like to do that sometime in April or May or even early June, because I'm trying to get some people to go to that track meet before they go to the national senior games, which is going to be in July in Iowa. So I have a lot of people that want to, participate in that event, as practice before they go. So I'm trying to get the event to come here, and if I'm doing everything I can to push a rope down the road, so to speak, to get UCA to get back to me. So that's one reason that the track and field is kind of in limbo right now. Hopefully he'll get back to me this week. It's like I said, he talked to me today. I talked to him today, and he said he would get me a date. So as soon as I know that, I'll be looking to bring a pretty big event, with the track and field here.
About Hendricks?
Hendricks is great, and I talked to them, not this year, I haven't talked to them. I've been over there. I like Hendricks. Not out of the question, I guess. They last time I spoke to them, which has been about 4 or 5 years ago, they were, 2 or 3 times as expensive as UCA to rent the facility. The problem that I somewhat have, which I know they have too, is that a couple of their fielding events are quarter mile down the road. I don't know, it's a shot put or something that's further west of the actual track. So I'm, for people, especially with the older people, it's just like how do you get people back and forth that might be doing multiple events? I would, transportation would be my thing to get somebody, that's going to be doing the shot put and then kind of have to come back and run the 100-meter dash and then go back and do another, so in my mind, I'm thinking that's going to be a kind of a problem. So unless we have some sort of a shuttle that we work out and figure out how to get people back and forth. So that's one reason I haven't been back to Hendricks. But it's not out of the realm if we can work up a date and UCA just does not get back to me. My only other thing to keep it in Conway, because I really want to bring it here, would be to go talk to the high school, I guess. But my problem with the high school is and everything. So when they swirl that ball around and, I need to have safety in mind. And so that's one reason I know that they do have that facility over at UCA. And, so that's why I'm just kind of putting all my eggs in that basket right now. I have been approached by the track at Searcy, and a junior high school in Fayetteville. And I just keep putting them off because I'm go to Conway. And so if I can't do it before July, I guess we'll just kick it down the road and try to shoot for September, October. That's kind of where I'm at right now. But I do want to do it here if I can. So, that's just the honest truth. I'm just doing everything I can to bring an event to Conway if UCA will cooperate. And don't, then yeah, I'll go look at, maybe they've got something different at Hendricks that I can look at again. Like I said, the only thing between you and me is just the fact that it's going to cost us a little bit more to go to Hendricks. And so not, just a few $100s more, but still, it is kind of a thing that we have to consider. But we are going to bring back our swim meet to Hendricks. They've got a new director over there and is working with us to make it a better event than we had last year. We had problems with the timing system and the touch pads and the pool and everything. We found out the morning of the event that, it's not working. So it was kind of a big disappointment last year, but that they got it working. So we're really looking forward to, bringing our swim meet back there. And then on top of that, cycling event here. I've got to be going over talking to the guys at the Ride Bike Shop and working out a deal to maybe go out by the airport and get some of those roads out there that don't have a whole lot of traffic. For the last 7 years, we've had that in Little Rock. And so cycling is an event that I do, and I'm all about safety. And so I know that out by the airport, there's less traffic than some of the places we have around Little Rock. And so I want to bring cycling to it's going to be 3 or 4 events that we'll do out there, a 5K, a 10K, a 20K, and a 40K. And so should be a big draw once we get word out there and find a date for that. And I'm looking to possibly do that in late May or early June as well. And so I'll be, putting that out there into the cycling community and try to get as many people to come for that event. I wish that the swimming pool, go ahead, you have a question.
You have about 60 kids that are a part of the high school mountain bike team here that need hours in volunteering.
Wonderful.
So, if
Love
you
it.
make sure that you talk to, actually probably the best person to talk to.
Okay.
Whenever you
Makes
need
it simpler,
those-
yeah.
Whenever you need those volunteers, I'm one
Yes.
of the coaches over there, so we can
Yes.
reach out to all of our kids, and you'll have a bunch of volunteers that need
That's
hours
awesome.
for it. So,
Love it.
So we did it with me and Gates did it for the local race last year, and probably had 30 of those kids out there last minute.
Okay.
To volunteer, so that would be something that would be right up their alley, and I think Gates, does it go towards their, like the 9th graders and above? Doesn't that go towards their hours?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. And I've done that with other kids at other schools throughout the state and sign off on something that, yes, they were here and all that sort of stuff.
CVB developed.
an official document.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I did that. In fact, there was a student here at the high school at Conway, then she volunteered and she spent a half a day with us at our golf tournament that we had over in Cabot last year. And so she brought me the document from the school here in Conway. And it's like, I decided saying, yes, she was here and she helped with registration and passing out T-shirts and all the stuff, that she helped us with. So yeah, I'm familiar with that, but that's great. Thank you. Yeah. And that goes for all of our events, not just the cycling event, but whatever, like I said, it is the use, especially the track meet and things. Cycling is an event that we're going to bring here. I just stopped by the bowling alley. And he's got us on his calendar now to bring the bowling event back there. What I will be looking for, I know the community center is not open yet, and it's still going to be sometime late summer, whatever. We've got the pool and everything, in a bigger area. Is some of the other events I have are like considering bringing here, and if I have it, I don't need a huge space, but I do need a space to do cornhole and shuffleboard and a few events like that are indoor sports. So I just need some sort of a small, probably even could, some of that could use even a gym floor, and so I might need to get with the parks and see if maybe, unless there's another area. I know that in some other states, they've even gone to some hotels that have, big meeting rooms like this and throw the boards down or whatever. So that's another thing that I'm going to be doing. And then another event that they've added on my plate for the National Senior Games that they've added is 8-ball pool. And I've already been up to the RAB, I guess, if y'all are familiar with that, the bar, whatever. And I've talked to them, and they had me up there a few weeks ago, and they stopped everybody in play while they were playing. That was kind of scary, guys. To stop at 8 o'clock at night, the owner's yelling, "Stop!" And so everybody looks back and she introduces me. So that was kind of scary. But I told them who I was and what I was going to be doing. I wanted to run a 8-ball pool tournament. And so then they all came up to me and they're like, "Yes, we got people that want to do this." So, that was kind of cool to see that all the people that are interested in it. The owner told me to come back sometime in March, and so vacation, and she said, "Come back in March and we'll talk more about setting up a date." So I'm going to plan on doing an 8-ball pool tournament. So it looks like I'm trying to bring, is my bottom line is I'm trying to bring as many events to Conway as I can. And so I'm requesting some seed money to help me offset some of the cost of possibly the venue rentals. And then to help me with advertising, be able to do some printed flyers and things like that, do some social media posts, and get some T-shirts and some other things that will help us not fully offset, but will help us bring the events to Conway. So, anybody got any other questions for me at the moment?
Right now, you're wanting for us to take a look at what? Because you run kind of a laundry list out.
Yeah, I did, and it's not going to be unlimited. And I guess my point is, I would like to ask for probably around $1,250 for the advertising part of it, and then probably just guessing what UCA might put out or Hendricks might put out for venue rentals. I'm estimating maybe $1,000 between the two of them, $1,500. I'm not sure exactly, $1,500 to $2,000 to get those. And so, I guess that would be the total, whatever, around $3,000. Yeah.
All that seed money, would that be the best place?
He's got it separated on here.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah, I know. It wasn't real clear to me. I was like going, okay, I don't know which seed money request is there to check, but then it doesn't have the actual how much seed money are you requesting. So that's why I put that there. So,
Yes, you could do it all in one lump sum, but it's cleaner to be able to put it up like that and have the advertising, because you can easily show,
Yes.
this is what we advertised, here's the ad, here's how much it costs.
Okay.
And that's an easier, one-to-one reimbursement, whereas seed funding is, lines are a little, yes, there are more things you could spend it on.
It helps for me
Can you
too.
spend that seed money- Can you spend that seed money on advertising as well?
That were his plan, I would say he needed to replace all advertising money.
Well, you're requesting $12.50 for advertising and $2,000
Advertising.
for seed.
One question.
Yes, ma'am.
When did age 40 become?
Long time
I've
ago for me.
I've got a couple of events like pickleball that actually started at 13. So,
Everyone in the room.
it's actually 50. But I dropped it to 40, just because
50 is actually considered a senior.
for us, yes, it is. We are an affiliate. We are the state's only organization that can send people to the National Senior Games. So every 2 years, there is a National Senior Games event, just like the Real Olympics. And so people come the year before to qualify in our events by finishing the top 4 in their age. Thing is 5-year age group based. And so it's 50 to 54, 55 to 59, and so forth. And no matter what event, if it's a swim meet event, a track and field, cornhole, whatever event, they qualified to go to nationals starting at 50. But I dropped it to 40 for us because I want people to be involved. I want people to be active. I want people to be healthy, and they usually get a bug when they're in their 40s. And so they go, okay, I can't wait to become 50 so that I can try to qualify to go to nationals. Nationals is going to be this year. It's an odd year, so it's this year. It's going to be in Des Moines, Iowa. Next year, people will be coming to all of our events, hopefully back to Conway again to qualify. They'll be qualify for the Nationals in 2027, which is going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So people around here are going to be really excited because in the previous years, like last year, it was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Before that, it was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So to be in Tulsa, people are going to be really excited next year to come qualify. And so that's 50 and up generally is what the age is. And so, but like I said, I just do 40 just to get them excited and keep active.
That explains a lot since I turned 50 this month and I've already got an AARP.
Yes, that's what you get.
So, what are you asking from us today?
31, 2.
Yes, exactly.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Had a motion made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Like we passed that.
Thank you all very much. All right.
You were good about returning money you didn't use last year?
I did not use I asked for $1,750, if y'all remember here. I asked for $1,750 and I only turned in a receipt to Rachel for $800. And so, that was nice of y'all to approve it, but we bit the bullet on that. So, but like I said, I'm going to be bringing some more people here. This is my goal. All right. Thank you all. See you all again soon.
Thanks, Greg.
Is there any old business that we've not dealt with?
Before you.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you mind?
No.
Just for a quick second. It's been brought to my attention that there's a piece of equipment that could help do some maintenance stuff on
building.
trails and I don't know whether we can use our money to buy equipment or not.
So I was gonna talk to Charles. I've got a handful of things to talk to him about. Boddington. Originally identified a piece of used equipment from a trail building. for the construction. Past. Investment in one of the big things is you have to pay somebody enough to get in front of the line during trail building season. And worth their time to come and do it. It's not just cost plus auction basically. There was the question of currently the lease arrangement, office equipment, and all those things. Various conventions. Obviously,
thing, and that's why I don't know whether we could buy it and let the city keep it. I just don't know the answer to that question.
I can tell you that this is this I think the piece of equipment we're talking about big piece of construction.
One that could save significantly on trail building in the future.
I read the article too. I thought it was really good.
Like, yeah, I mean, it was like, what did we pay for the small amount of trail that we had to pay for at?
I think so. We put in 35,000 at Tech Park, and that's about great deal of that, but that was. Just to set some mileage. At a large people from but probably we had a question answered some of the urgency level. Thank you for bringing it up. Answers.
I'm not an attorney,
Right.
so
Yeah.
let me say that. But I could see how this one piece of equipment,
Mm-hmm.
if it can expand our trail system, would draw more people into town.
Yeah, and if it's
That's
something
what
that we
this
can
is
do
all
within,
about.
yes.
That's what this is all about.
I think the CDB definitely can. I think it's just what's best. There may be an easier solution. That maybe a better part. I think it would qualitatively change this a little bit once you start owning stuff.
So is this something we need to hold back before we vote on it?
We'd have to get, a legal opinion from
Okay,
Charles
right.
to see if that's in our confinement of what we can do, yeah.
I appreciate the email.
Mhm.
We can send you
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Well, and the thing that I wanted to bring up is we have not put our A&P commission accounting out for bid. And I know within the city, typically that's something, I think, Andy, we do every 5 years or so, just to see if there's something out there that's better, more cost-effective, whatever the case may be. And I think we've had the same service for 10 years plus, I think. So I think it might behoove us to put that out there and see if we can draw some attention and possibly might even be able to save the A&P some money as far as those services. So just wanted to put that out there.
Does that need a motion?
I would think so, yes. And that, of course, does not preclude our current accountant from bidding as well, but that's something we've not looked at. And I know that we have, on at least one occasion, increased what we were paying our accounting services for that. So I think just like we did the CD, seeing what we could get with that, I think with us being stewards of the money for the city, it behooves us to do the same thing in those particular areas as well. So I will make a motion that we entertain looking at putting the accounting services for the A&P Commission up for bid.
Have a motion made, is there a second? The motion's been made and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Negative? Okay. Looks like we're gonna be checking that out.
And I could get with Felicia on advertising and what that will look like, putting it out.
Is there any other old business? Have a motion made to adjourn.
So move.
Motion been made and second, all in favor, say hey. Thank you.
Thank you.